when I was in grade school, I was diagnosed as dyslexic. And so school was never a particularly easy thing for me. However, every level that I've continued in education has become better, I guess you might say. And so when I started my, graduate studies with La Sierra, that was great because it was another step up and was more focused onto one specific area. And when I came to Andrews, it was a similar feeling. And what I appreciated, especially about Andrews, was that every single professor that I took classes from had a spiritual focus during their coursework. So it wasn't like God was just a worship at the beginning or something set on the side. It was a specific component to everything that took place in class. And that's really important to me. And not because I work for the church or because it's, the right thing to do, but because I really do feel that it's an integral part of my life. God is right there at the forefront, and he was right there at the forefront of every class I took. And that I took specific notice of because even in our grade schools from time to time, it doesn't always mean that worship or God is right at the forefront every time. And that doesn't mean that our teachers aren't faithful. It just means that it wasn't there. But in my experience with Andrews, that was the case, every experience. And that was phenomenal. Your previous president, Dr. Luxton, was the president of Burman University, and my father taught there for 43 years. So I knew her while I was going to school there. So I had an opportunity to chat with her when I was on campus once, and she just made some statements to me that really helped me get a better understanding of what it meant to pursue a doctorate as opposed to a master's, because it's a big step up in that. And two others I'll very briefly mention as well. I remember, one of your professors has since moved on to, I think, Ohio, and that's Dr. Kovrick. And man, did he push me in such a way. I was scared to death I was going to fail his classes. But at the end of the day, the amount that I learned, especially in ethical leadership, I was like, oh, I could have taken 7 more classes and just really garnered a lot. And then finally, and I mentioned this finally because Dr. Ledesma has been my connection point from the beginning all the way through this. She's the chair of my committee on my dissertation and everything. And she has always been there to support and help me through the process. And her impact has been greater than just that because of, she went through such a tragedy with her husband. And yet through all of that, she never lost faith in God. And that gave me, that's always given me something to look at and to consider through anything that we're facing. And so I place her at the back end of this because she's always been part of this process for me, and I've really appreciated every step of the way with her.